Greetings, Moonlight citizens. This is your man on the moon back here with Moonlight Kingdom Podcast 85, I think. Yeah, on this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Podcast, we talk what makes an alpha male an alpha male. Why do women who act like a 403 get surprised when they get treated like a 403? Is it a 403 or a 304? I think it's a 403, but you'll find the meanings in the coming moments of the episode. A shorter one than most in this one, and as well, there's not much covered. I came in at a later moment and it had to end early, but hey, we got plenty of stuff to talk about in this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Podcast 85. Oh, without further ado, folks, 85, 84, who gives a damn? Let's get into it in 3, 2, 1, boom.
Is that healthy? Is that not healthy? I don't know.
It depends. Think of it this way. When you were a child, for example, if you got slapped in the face, there was some part of you that couldn't handle it. You were actually traumatized. This time, when you're an adult, you got slapped, so what? You can slap back. You have developed some sort of immunity due to exposure, experience.
Not immunity per se, it's more resistance.
The larger the experience is what I'm saying.
So what's up, man? Welcome back.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Let me just hop off. Listen to you from
you can stay. This is like a full panel conversation. It's just man on the moon. He's one of my mods. He's great. I think you'll like talking to him.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
For what you were saying, you brought up grief and people seemingly putting their emotions to one side. It also has to do with the fact that not all people grieve the same. You know, some people get overtaken by their emotions and they shut down. But then there are those individuals who, as you say, would put their emotions to one side and just like, because when something happens, like say a loved one passes away, there is that family member who's making all the phone calls and telling everyone about the passing and calling the funeral home and doing all that because they're able to like put their emotions to the side for now in the sense that there'll be time to cry later. Work needs to be done now. They bury themselves in the work. Yeah. People do that.
Exactly. Yeah. 100% that's the fact. You either help, you become the reliable one, the responsible one, the one who can handle problems, or you're the one who is dependent. Basically, it's either a child or an adult. These are the choices. You either going to be taken care of by other people, or you're going to take care of other people. These are the two options. There is no middle ground. So the person who manages their emotions, who can understand their trauma, who can handle pain, has more chance of being more responsible, accountable. This is how confidence comes. Yeah. So basically, you guys have fun. Thank you for having me. Let me hop off.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, he was right on that. He said something about how, you know, when one is young and you get a slap in the face, that's a big deal. And you get older, if you get slapped, when you're an adult and you get slapped in the face, it's like, oh, that's nothing. I think in regards to like when you're younger and like an adult slaps you, it affects you significantly more because that's never happened before. It's like the first time you're experiencing this, it's like, and it's gonna catch you off guard. But as an adult, if someone slaps you, it's like, I have experience in this. You know, this thing has happened to me before. Yeah, in this realm.
This isn't something that's gonna completely like shock me and put me into a plane of like.
Yeah. Yeah. By that point, you're like, I've been slapped before.
Honestly, that would even be an interesting conversation. Were you abused or were you just disciplined as a child? Because I think that's such a popular thing to go ahead and conflate in today's age. Because everyone wants to fucking play the, oh, I was a victim bullshit.
Yeah.
No, you got spanked for talking back and, you know, you had privileges taken away because you were deciding to act like a hot mess. That's not abuse. You learned to not do that again. You were disciplined. Congratulations. If you are legit being bullied day in and day out in home just for existing, like you breathe the wrong way and fucking dad's throwing a chair at you, yeah, that's abuse.
Yeah.
You fucked up and you can't face the consequences of your own actions, and now you want to fucking say, I don't have contact with my parents. Yeah, no, you're a fucking bitch. That's what you are.
Personally, I would think that the difference between discipline and abuse is that there's a reason behind discipline. Like, a parent disciplining their child, there's a reason behind that. I'm punishing you so you know not to do that again. Whereas with abuse,
Yeah.
it's out of nowhere. It's purely just hurting somebody to hurt somebody.
To me, it is purely an emotional response. It is purely based on your own poor capacity to communicate and to teach, so you resort to violence. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
What do you think would be a good topic for today, man?
I mean, the top tier man thing has been a pretty interesting topic in terms of like the kind of people that have come up here. I mean, although I'm surprised, it's been largely, well, it's not as negative as you think it would be, because this seems like a topic that is primed for like incels to come in and just try to railroad, but they've been fairly level-headed in terms of the guests that have come up.
Yeah.
But yeah, in regards to like what actually makes one a top tier man, it's like, I mean, I've said in the comments before, but it's like being who you say you are. You know, like...
Yeah, meaning what you say and saying what you mean.
Yeah, like there are those people who would think a top tier man means like, oh, you gotta be this like alpha Chad type with all the money and all the status, and like that's not what that means. That's just you being a posturing dick. But okay.
Can we coin that? Can we just start calling people alpha Chads?
An alpha Chad. Yeah.
Can we just start doing that? Can we call people alpha Chads? I think that's quite funny. I think it would fucking piss some people off.
Although the people in that group might take that as some kind of twisted compliment, but... Hey. Yeah.
And this is why they should bring back mental wards.
What do you mean bring back? They're not a thing anymore?
Like the loony bins? Like the proper loony bins? No.
Wow.
I'm sure they are, but they're just not spoken about nearly as much as they would have been so many moons ago.
Yeah, you can, because mental health...
Bring back the loony bins.
Yeah, we have a different approach to mental health nowadays, so you could imagine places to deal with mental health aren't looked at the same way.
Well, and now, I mean, mental health also is... I think mental health has been commercialized too much for people to actually make a change. Now and honestly, the way that mental health has evolved and like how it's being treated is also really fucking depressing, because I don't think most of the mental health problems are getting treated. I think most of them are being validated. Maybe that makes me a bitch for saying that. Maybe I'm just uneducated, but I don't think treatment includes validating your beliefs that the fucking midget man fucking comes and appears to you every night and fucking talks to you about how to build nuclear codes. That's just me, though. I could be wrong.
Well, I'm one who believes that when you go to therapy and try to deal with your mental health, now is the time for confirmation, not affirmation. First thing first, we need to acknowledge is that you are the one with the problem.
Yep. But then again, I think it's really hard for people to get to that point, too. Especially when we live in a culture where you. I'm not mentally ill. You're a bigot. You're a racist. You're X, Y, and Z. Throw in word that has nothing to do with what the fuck is actually going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it becomes all too easy to like shut someone down by throwing a negative buzzword their way, because the last thing someone wants to be is associated with that thing.
Yep.
But yeah. But on the side of that, if you're gonna throw buzzwords at people, you gotta know what they mean. I shit you not.
You gotta know how to use them correctly, honestly.
Oh yeah.
You look real silly fucking saying, "You're gaslighting me," for telling me. You didn't take out the trash. It's right there. Do you see it? I don't have to see it. I took it out.
Wow.
You're gaslighting me.
Yeah.
You're an abusive bitch.
It would be funny if it wasn't so damn...
CPS now.
Like, wow. It'd be funny if it wasn't tried. Yes! Let me just say that much. You know, like, just... They're... Oh, Jesus. Oh, someone... There was an instance when I was on a live stream, and there was this... Someone was speaking negatively of me, and I said, like, why... I asked her straight up, like, hey, why are you trying to slander me? Why are you... saying these false things about you. And she's like, I did not slander
you.
Yes, that was it. I am not slandering you. Like, do you even know what slander means? And when I gave the definition, like, oh, she had nothing to say now. It's like, that's right. You thought, like, I believe that's why I say if you're gonna throw words at people, you gotta know what they mean. Because clearly she didn't know what slander was. And yet she was just saying, oh, I'm not doing that. Like,
But then again, remember, dude, like, this is also what happens when language completely deconstructs. Like, this is what happens when people use, like, racist, right? Like, people love to throw out the word racist left and right to describe a person's opinion or to describe someone who may have said something that is challenging back their bias. And instead of actually, like, sitting with yourself and being like, well, why do I think this way? No, the easiest cop-out is just to go ahead and attack a person's character and associate them to a negative trait. And I think we've gotten all too comfortable with accepting that as a society.
More often than not, we attack the person as opposed to what they... Even if they did say something negative, more often than not, we attack the person who said it as opposed to what they said. Yeah. You can... There's ways to disagree with somebody without actively attacking them, and people are afraid to be wrong. I think people need to understand that sometimes it's okay to be wrong in a scenario. Like, it doesn't speak anything negative about your character that you were wrong in this particular moment. Like, it's totally okay to be wrong when when you make a point and then it's proven, like, actually, that's not true. I think the biggest thing...
I think it has to do more with people don't care about learning when they have conversations. People care about dominating the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, people take, and this is like where, like, in some degree, it's like where competitiveness has evolved, and not in a positive way. People don't care to be correct. People care to be right.
Yeah.
People care to be viewed as the top individual in this conversation, and that's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, care more about being seen as having won the argument as opposed to whether or not the point is valid.
And because the education system has failed us as a whole, people think that if you could be having an intellectual conversation, prove somebody wrong, and if that person is just really good at roasting you, oh, they won the argument. That's how we perceive it nowadays.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. Which is very, very stupid and isn't helping anybody.
It also circles back to what you said about, like, the whole participation trophy thing. I think it's the thing that's caused people to change so much in terms of like how to argue and how to like behave with one another is no one knows how to take an L anymore.
Well, and you know what? This actually kind of goes back to a conversation that I've had with my husband recently. And it was, barriers of entry should be in place. You should not be being inclusive as in I will include you and having the opportunity to do well is different than being like, well, I included you, so automatically you're going to get something. That's bad. Barriers of entry should exist in relationships, in jobs, in pretty much in relationships and in jobs.
On the relationship aspect of an example that would be, well, you took me out to dinner and we had like a good time, so of course you're coming upstairs. Like, no, that's not how it works, and that really shouldn't be how it works. I mean, although some people do expect that.
We should have barriers of entry, men and women alike. We should have barriers of entry in the relationships that we participate in. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not, doing something with yourself, if you are not a kind person, if you are a deviant, that you should not have access to me. Not because I think I'm better than you, but because I don't want that type of a character around me. I want to choose better for myself. And I think that's something that's important for both men and women to start shifting towards. Because what's happening right now is the barriers of entry to sex and to relationships are at an all-time low. You showed up. That's it. That's pretty good. Good job buying these apples. Good job. But, it should be a little higher. And I think that's why women are having so little success in the fucking dating game. Because they've essentially trained men that it is okay to just do below the bare minimum. And you still might get your dick sucked.
Yeah, from my perspective, that would be, like, from my view, I think that's down to not wanting to be alone, in the sense that at the moment, the only person who's around is the guy who's doing the bare minimum, so it's like, damn, either I accept bare minimum dude, or I'm just alone, waiting for the guy who's gonna go above and beyond, and a lot of people don't want to do that, so the guy who does the bare minimum gets a pass.
This is also where developing hobbies would come in handy. Yeah, you might be alone, but you regularly socially interact with people. You're doing something that you like. You are doing things that fulfill your spirit and your experience of life instead of just finding some dude who can fill up your twat. And honestly, if this is where the conversation is moving towards, for this type of conversation.
Oh yeah, a question for the women. Why do you act like a 304 and get surprised when you're treated like a 304? Yeah, I mean, we've touched on this before, but in terms of like what I view it as, it's this thing of a desire for all the perks, but none of the downsides that come with it. Because there are downsides. So yeah. There's this film. What's this? I think it's called Easy A, where like Emma Stone is going around, and it's like, oh, I need to like. She wants to like be perceived as this woman who will lay with any man for like the right price or whatever. She's not really laying with these dudes, but everyone thinks she is.
It's about
and
perception.
yeah, it's about perception, and she like leans into it. She like dresses more provocatively and has like this big red A on her, and everything is cool.
Yeah, what is it? It's the oh my god, what is it? It's the she is like dudes who, like virgins in her high school are paying her to quote unquote like sleep with them, so that way the virgin male can be perceived as no longer a virgin, therefore he is more sexually desirable to the other women in the school, the other girls in the school.
And it raises their stock. It makes her for a moment seem like, you know, this heavily desirable woman that all these dudes want to be with, but after a while it backfires in a way, because now it's like, oh, it's very easy to go from desirable to, oh, you just a slut. You'll sleep with anybody. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's too much of a that leans into the whole 304 thing, because it's like you wanting all the perks but none of the downsides that come with it. A person would want that desire. You want to be desired by a bunch of dudes. You want to be seemingly looked up to by women as like, you know, this being that gets all this attention, but you don't want to be desired by the wrong kind of dude. You don't want to be looked down upon by all these women in your life. So it's like, that's just how I view it.
No, it's a tricky balance. It's a tricky balance, and the fact of the matter is, if you perceive yourself, and I can say this because been there, when I was being a proper quote unquote dog, right? Sure, I was desirable, but I was desirable for one thing in particular. And that wasn't necessarily how I wanted most of these interactions to go. Like, I didn't just want to be the booty call. Because girls will go ahead and play themselves off to be the quote-unquote cool girl in order to become more desirable. Like, yeah, I'm good with anything. Yeah, you wanna go, and it's cool when you're just being casual. Once you get into a relationship with somebody, it's like something flips. So that's typically why I started encouraging women to, you know, even in the dating field, like, be authentic. This is what I want. I want babies. I don't want babies. I want to be married by the end of the year. I don't want to be married ever. I'm actually working on becoming a nun. I am a super slut. You know, like, be very transparent with your intentions with people. And it would be, and also ask probing questions to discover how people feel about what you're doing without necessarily disclosing what you're doing. Because if you're concerned that people are just going to take your information and you know, formulate their personality to fit that, then you're doing it wrong. You shouldn't just be like declarative. You should be like, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Blah, 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 blah. See what they say and then be like, oh, okay. Because, like, this is what I think about it. And I don't think we are compatible. Or I'm glad you said that, because I have a similar approach too. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah. A way to like summarize a summation of it would be treat it like a contract. In any contract, you need to state the terms of the contract before you sign. You need to show that you've read through it and understand everything that's asking of you before you sign. Because more often than not, both with literal contracts and in relationships and, you know, various spheres of life, a lot of people just sign and then find out way after the fact that, well, there's this...
what they signed up for.
Yeah, then you find out what it is you signed up for. Or, well, actually, there's this clause here that you did agree to. And then it becomes this thing of, well, I didn't realize this is what I was actually signing up for, except like, yeah, but you did though. I mean, or you should have, and more often than not it becomes, why didn't you ask?
Yeah. No, it's rough. Okay, let me go ahead and let you go. I gotta get ready because I think we're having an HVAC guy come to the house and maintain our system. And I think he's supposed to show up around 11. So let me get some shit looking less like a disaster. But I'll catch you next time, man.
All right. Though I gotta ask, in future for the live streams, do you want multiple people up at one time, or do you prefer like a one at a time thing? Because there do be
depends.
Oh, okay.
It depends. Some days I'm like, I just want to have like one-on-one conversations. Some days I'm like, you know what? Let's get a whole. Let's see what fucking happens. It just depends.
Okay, because I was thinking like I could give it like a 30-minute thing, like a dude will be up in, and then it's like, okay, like this guy been on for like 30 minutes, like let's see what someone else might bring in. Because I've been in live streams where there'll be like 12 people in the request, and the person who's talking has been talking for like an hour.
Yeah, it's like, bruh, like fucking exchange numbers and continue the conversation. This is a live. People want to talk. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so
no, I agree.
All right. In future, like I will.
Yeah,
I'll stick to like the one at a time thing, but like every 30 minutes, it'll be like, okay, let's bring someone up. Let's see.
Yeah, no, and if you see that it's at one at a time, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let's get more people in here, and you're peeping in. Just roll with it.
All right, cool. Thanks for having me.
And I'll probably have you on panel too, just because you're a mod.
All right.
You're a mod because generally speaking, I think you're based with the shit that you say. You're not like overtly one-sided in the way that you like deal with conversations. So that's why I made you a mod. So yeah, no, you'll be on the panel.
All right. Thank you for that.
All right, bueno, dale. We'll talk. Bye.
Peace. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all them nice things. Peace.